Once your columns are placed, we can make minor modifications to them either by adjusting the properties or picking a different column from the type selector list. So in order to probably better illustrate this, though we could definitely do this from a floor plan view, let's go ahead and take a look at this in a 3D view. To do that, once again, you can just come up to the little house that shows up at the top of the screen and click on it. I'm going to rotate this around just so we can see it just a tiny bit better. And to do that, I'm going to hold down the Shift key on my keyboard as well as the wheel button on my mouse. I'm just going to spin this around just a little bit and then zoom in here down at the bottom of the screen. Now at this column, if I move my mouse over it and click on it, we can now see that it's highlighted in blue, and it happens to be the column located at the D-5 location on the column grid. If we ever want to be able to verify that, we can always go to our first floor plan and just double click where it has 1-first floor. And we can see that at 5 and D, so D-5, that's where our column is highlighting in blue. I'll go ahead and close out of this view just by clicking the little X up here in the corner. Select back on the column to make sure that it's highlighted. And now we'll go ahead and try to adjust some of the properties associated with it. Now, one property that we can adjust is how tall this column is. In order to do that, we can either come in here and tell it that it should go up to a different floor by changing the top level, or we could even come here to base level, which would tell the base of it, the bottom of it, to go down to a certain floor. Like in this case, we wanted to go down to the top of footing, we could just by highlighting on that. But the kind of modification that I'm going to make to this is just going to be a real gentle one. In this case, we're going to take the base, or the bottom of it, and just raise it up by about 4 feet, just so you can see it done. So you can type in 4 foot, move your mouse over here, and you can already see that this is now a little bit higher than it was. Let me just move this down so we can see it adjust. We'll change this from being 4 foot to 0 again. See how this just ended up getting longer? And we could theoretically do the same thing for the top of this as well. Tell it that it should be either positive, which will bring it up X distance, or tell it to be a negative number, which will drop it down a certain distance off of that level. So you can make really easy and minor adjustments to this related to height by just selecting on it and then telling it you want it to be a certain height off of the level. Now another kind of adjustment that we can make is completely switch the column out with one of a different size. To do that, you can just select on the column, come over here to the type selector list, and pick a different column off of it. In this case, we'll go with the W8x10, which is way undersized for this, but you'll definitely see a difference. See how it's swapped that much bigger column out for the much smaller one? And we can bring that back again by just selecting on it, coming back to the type selector list, and picking one of the appropriate size off of the list. So columns can be modified easily in a variety of views, including plan and 3D views and elevation views, just the way that we were just doing it inside of this view. These columns can then have their properties adjusted very easily just by making those adjustments inside of the properties palette over here.